We are live. How you doing, brother?
Good, brother. How you doing?
I am good. I'm feeling good. So we are here with brother Holip and brother Dawud, and the topic of our show, our live stream. Oh wait, let me mute my live stream on YouTube because there's going to be an echo.
Yeah. Always is.
Fox News nationalist Redux. Minister Dawud and Mr. Holipsism of the BAIO explore the question, what does a black conservative conserve? And break down the hypocrisy of Black Republican moralists and how they only embrace a principle when it fits their needs and abandons those same principles in a heartbeat when it does not.
Word.
And then I got a quote here from a man, the Joker. He says, their morals, their code, is a bad joke. Dropped at the first sign of trouble. They're only as good as the world allows them to be. You'll see. I'll show you. When the chips are down, these civilized people, they'll eat each other.
Hmm.
See, I'm not a monster. I'm just ahead of the curve. Ah, well, before we get into that, first thing we got to get into is the BAIO website, which is located at baioafrikstan.org. That's the main email, the main website address. You can
Right.
reach it at .com as well, but it's BAIO Afrikstan, AFRIKSTAN.org. If you were on the Ning site, you need to deactivate your account on the Ning site and register on the .org site. And the cool thing about the reason why we had to make a transition off of the Ning site is that Ning does not give you full control over your content. So it's kind of hypocritical for us to talk about ownership
Right.
and being in control, and we're on a forum where we can't even back up our website.
Right.
So we don't have that problem because this website, we're on a completely brand new host, completely brand new site. We have 100% control over the content. We can customize it any way we want to. It's secure. And I personally think it's dope.
It is.
If nobody has visited it, please visit it at baioafrikstan.org. Make sure you register. And the beautiful thing about this site is we have a vetting process on the site to make sure that nobody in the site can be trolled. We don't have trolls as the members. We have a verification process so that we know we're dealing with real people, not bots and robots and all this bullshit.
Right.
So that was the whole purpose for us creating this new site, so we can have complete control over our content and complete customization, and that's what we have. So please come to baioafrikstan.org. I am Lucy has posted it in the chat room. And make sure that if you're on the Ning site that you deactivate from that Ning site and leave it, because that is not the official website of the BAIO. BAIO official website, once again, baioafrikstan.org. If you hear any other attempts at taking you to any place other than that, it's some doppelganger bullshit.
Yeah.
So is there anything else you want to add in regards to that, brother minister?
No, no. Other than the fact that being behind the scenes, I got to see how hard they worked on it, and I'm here to tell you, brothers and sisters, that it's a beautiful site. It's dope, and they worked very, very, very hard on it. So I saw my brother in a different light. He was very, very demanding. I was like, oh shit. Like he was like, yo, we need this, we need that. We didn't have this, we didn't have that. So we went all the way out to make sure that you guys have, that we all have, I should say, we all have a place that we could call home, that we could discuss nationhood, that your boss don't come on, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. No, because for real, like this is one of the things that we was arguing with this. Anyway, let me not make any references. This is one of the things we was arguing with dude about is that like there's the when you talk about why you want to have your own nation, part of the reason is because any kind of black love talk is flagged as like extremism and there's
Hmm.
retaliation.
Right.
So if you want to take this machismo hubris kind of thing where it's like, well, you should be you should say whatever you want to say. And if you can't say what you have to say on the site or you can't show your face or whatever, then you don't need to be down with us. I mean, that's kind of hypocritical. We're trying to build a nation to give ourselves the opportunity to come out with our faces and things like that. And
Right.
some people have it that way, some people don't. But for the people that don't have that kind of freedom to say what they want to say and know that there will be retaliation against their economics, we would really be assholes for us to try to force you to compromise taking care of yourself and your family for a concept that we don't even have fully developed yet. So
Right.
in other words, it's in the conceptual stage. It's not in the final stage where we got land. We've been have boots on the ground, but we don't have land. We don't have infrastructure. We don't have nationhood yet. And yet, and still, you trying to make people act like we have it already here in America, which is hypocritical because that is the reason why we're trying to get a nation in the first place.
Right.
So we
And
want you
it's
to be safe.
yeah, and this is a place where you can be safe. You don't have to worry about your employers checking to see what your posts are because what you're saying is true. A lot of people have concerns about that.
Right.
You know, so once you registered on our site, you're on our forum. There a forum. Nobody can just see the posts and see the conversations in our site like they used to be able to do on a Ning site.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so that's another. Oh, and also before I forget, mad shout out to the MVP, which is Kexia.
Mm-hmm.
Kexia is the MVP, y'all. So I hope nobody's sitting here thinking that I did this myself. She was handling the lion's share of what it took to get this site operational, and she's still doing it.
Hmm.
So shout out to Kexia. I know she's listening because she's eating, hopefully. And yeah, give a mad shout out and mad love to that sister, man, because she has dedicated herself to making sure that this thing was done right and doing this on her own free time,
Right.
you know? So that should be appreciated. But yeah, man, let's get into it.
Well, let me say something real quick. This is one of the
Right.
reasons why I put the camera on because I'm stuffing my face. Um, I do want to say this real quick. Brothers and sisters, as you may well know, whenever I do a BAIO radio show, I always try to deal with one or the three aspects of what we believe in, which is land, infrastructure, nationhood. What is the end game? And what I want to say, and I want to be very unequivocal in saying this, BAIO is a big organization. It's a huge concept. It's a concept that we work very hard to build to include everybody. We want you, as brothers and sisters, to do whatever you want to do within the context of the group. This is who we're looking for. We're not looking for people who want to come in the group, get inspired, and leave the group. I have to say that again. We're not looking for people to come in the group, get inspired, and leave the group. It is not to say that we won't be your friend after this, or we won't even be associated with you. But that's not what we're looking for. If you want to start any kind of thing, there's room in the BIO to do that. And my standpoint is that if you are a part of the BIO, and we had trouble getting you on the live stream, we had trouble getting you to participate in the conference call, we had trouble getting you to be in the meetup or whatever, and then what you do is now you got energy to do some other shit outside of the group, then I question whether you was with us in the first place. Because to me, your excuse was always that you had family concerns or children are throwing the fuck up, whatever it is that you had as a concern, we understood that. And we told everybody, nah, brother and sister, they ain't with us right now because they're doing this and the next thing. You cannot up jump and have the energy to do your own shit and think I'm going to respect you after that. Because I don't. I really don't. And that's all I was telling Holla, because we always have the call before the call and the call after the call. And as I was telling Holla before I got on here, I come from the Nation of Islam construct. And everything within the Nation of Islam was about work. Everybody judged you according to the work that you did. It wasn't about how big you was, how small you was. It really wasn't supposed to be how light and dark you were, but that played a part in it, unfortunately. But it wasn't supposed to be about that. And I respected dudes who was out there with me who worked. Now, I understood there were certain dudes that had a bigger family than I did or more responsibility. But what I did respect about them is if, in fact, they got out there when they had the time, they did so. And that's what I respected. It didn't have to be you had to do the same amount of work I was doing. What I respected is that when you had time, you did do something. Likewise, for the BAIO, what I respect is you may not have the voice to do a live stream like me. I mean, I perfected my voice over the course of 20 years. So you may not have that, more than 20 years, really. You may not have that. You may not even really be, you may fear public speaking or something like that. But there's other stuff you could do. You could participate in the chat room. You could participate on the site. You could participate on the Facebook group. You could post videos, whatever you do. But to me, when you don't get involved and then you up jump and you got your own shit, I don't respect that. Because if I had to try to drag your black ass into something we was doing, and you had all of these excuses, and now you got energy, free time, and blah, blah, blah to do your own thing, I don't respect that. I really don't. I really don't respect that. Because you can do all of that within the group, and nobody's telling you not to. And now that we have got rid of a lot of dead weight, it's even more of an opportunity to do it. So if you do it now, after we done got rid of the dead weight, then I'm really going to be side-eyeing you. We still going to be down with you. I'm still going to call you my brother and sister, but I'm going to be kind of standoffish because I want to know why you didn't do that when you was with us. And you can't say that we stopped you from doing it because we try to empower everybody. So all I'm saying to you is, if you want to start a company that freaking sells black African bulldozers, you could do it in the BAIO. If you want to sell black African pro kids, you could do it in the BAIO. If you want to make a machine that uses solar energy to pick the flakes out of your butthole, you can do that in the BAIO. To leave and be like, yo, Holip and Dawud was suppressing me. I want to come up. What the fuck, man? Like, come on, y'all. Like, I mean, really, they're like, and some of y'all are going to be hurt that have done this or have thinking about doing this. And to me, you gotta, if you're an adult, then you should see my standpoint. And my standpoint is very simple. Why couldn't you do that inside the group? Why couldn't you do that? Because you wanted the credit for yourself? We was going to give you credit. You know what I'm saying? Because I have my own ideas. We didn't respect your own ideas. We tried to make this group as free, open, and homogenous as we possibly could. We tried to respect women, all of that stuff. And all I'm saying to y'all is that everything that you want to do, you can do inside the group. And so the last thing I want to say is this, and this is really going to make y'all mad at me, and it's not my intention, but I have to say it. If in fact that's what you decide to do, which I will respect, I got to drink some Malta going on that. I remember some fool tried to check me on that one day. He was like, yo, bro, I didn't know the brothers drink beer. I'm like, this is Malta, you idiot. Anyway, yeah, you have no idea, bro. Oh my God, you have no idea. But anyway, what you call it? If in fact that's what you decided to do, and you do it, we respect that. Do not try to come back in the group and cherry pick the people that we worked hard to collect for the shit that you're trying to do. I'm going to say that again. If you decide to do something outside the group, and we respect it and we respect you, build your own shit. Build your own shit. And I refer you to my good brother Raekwon's Cuban Links video when they both talk about, niggas, I did the Nas with niggas bit Nas album. That's what I feel like you're doing. That's what I feel like you're doing. I feel like I work my ass off to put together shows that draw people in of like mind, and then you come through cherry picking. What kind of bullshit is that? Do your own shit. Go put together your own shows, come up with your own logo, do your live streams, and here's what I really want you to do. I want you to sacrifice your business time or whatever and put up these shows and go on Dyna's show and do all this shit that we did to bring the people together. For you to think you got some fucking harvest that you could just come through. Oh shit, there go corn. There go watermelons. There go cabbage. I'm not feeling that, son. I'm not feeling that. And I've been silent, but it's gotten ridiculous. It's gotten ridiculous. It's to the point where people is like, hey, I just want to offer this. Don't fucking offer nothing, B. Don't offer nothing, because you know what you're doing. And what you're doing is you're taking advantage of our good nature because you know that you on some bullshit. What it's like to me is when a dude gets out there on the block with his product and he collects mad customers, you get your package and you come through and say, well, you mind if I serve some of your customers? What kind of bullshit is this? So all I'm saying before we get into this topic is if you decide to do something else, and listen, those of you who have done this already and you have your shit together and stuff like that, if you take this personal, I don't know what to say to you, because you know full well how we feel about you. You know that we have pushed everything out. Yeah, we've allowed all of that. What I'm saying is there's been some people recently that have done this. And what I'm saying is I'm not feeling that shit, because I know for a fact that when I have to come on here and do a show to keep stuff alive and generate new followers and stuff like that, it's a sacrifice. It's hard fucking work. And when I don't see you do that, but I just see you, I just like to offer. You would? Really? That's some whack shit to me. It really is, because what it says to me is that you just want things the easy way. I don't like easy people. I really don't like that. I don't respect that. Damn, Holip, I think I got a little bit carried away. But damn, and I was concerned. I was like, bro, I don't want to hurt no feelings. You said, don't hold back, and here I go.
Nah, don't hold back anything, man. Because of what you're saying, it ain't like you lying.
Right.
It's like that's the thing that damn, how can I handle this? Because I don't want to give light to the dead weight.
Mm-hmm.
But we built up, we built up the membership through the work that we've done on our channels.
Right.
And going on other people's channels and doing interviews and just getting the word out and getting the message out. And we built it up. And if you ain't willing to do that, you can't just come and reap the benefits of what we did.
Exactly.
It's that simple. That's not even controversial.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? It's not even controversial. That's why I said people need to deactivate from that damn Ning site, because we're not on there anymore.
Word.
That's not where the BAIO is. The BAIO is at BAIOAfrikstan.org. Disconnect, deactivate, because I had one person on Facebook, I ain't gonna say no names, tell me, oh, well, what's wrong with having two websites?
Oh God.
I have a lot of contacts on it. I said, you know what? I understand and I respect you doing what you got to do, and I'm going to do what I have to do, and I hope you respect that too.
Word. Vamp.
Yep.
Vamp. I'm just saying, y'all, like, I'm going to say this on the two sides of my Scorpio personality. Side number one is, if I'm talking about it, it's been bothering me. You should know me by now. You should know me by now. If I'm talking about it, it's been bothering me. And I don't think I'm being unreasonable, because if you see it from my point of view, then you know that there's been many nights I didn't want to do a show. I did a show. There's been many nights where I've wanted to not show up to somebody's thing. There's been many nights that I'm driving home, flying home from my domestic violence class, changing out of my clothes and into, my regular clothes, firing up my computer and doing the show. This takes years. It takes blood, sweat, and tears. And when you come through and you think you're going to cherry pick, that shit gets on my nerves, because I feel like you could have did that inside the group. So if you chose to do it outside the group, what I want you to do is I want you to pay the same dues I paid. Because if you don't pay the same dues I paid, then what I feel like is that you think I'm a sucker and that you could just, they won't mind. The fuck you mean we won't mind? What do you mean we won't mind? And here's the other side of my Scorpio personality. Nigga, if you get mad, go do it yourself then. Get mad enough to do your own shit. Because other than that, I really can't say nothing to you. Because y'all should know at this point what time it is. Let me tell you something, son. If I was involved in somebody's group and I decided to go outside of it with my own concept that was just like the concept of the group, you know what I'm saying? And I did that, I would be like, all right, y'all, listen, this is what I'm doing. And, we're friends. We're always going to be friends. And then I would start my own show. I would have my own group starting their own show, and we would just go hard. We would go super hard trying to build our own brand, not as an opposition, but because we saw what Holip and Dawud and the other nigga did, you know what I'm saying, and how much work it was. And so we'd be like, yo, we really got to step our game up and do that. But when I don't see you doing that and you just cherry picking, it just makes me feel like you mushing me at the Coney Island rides. You know what I'm saying? You had to have grown up in my circle to understand that reference. But nevertheless, like, bro, one day we almost got jumped like 30 people at the Coney Island rides because me and my boy was drunk, and my boy was talking a little bit too strong to this one dude. The dude like mushed him in like 5 seconds and bounced. So we chased him over the Coney Island, and it was people getting off the jumbo jet. It was people coming out of the arcade. It seemed like the dude had all sorts of. You remember in the Matrix when Smith kept recreating himself, and there was Smiths coming from everywhere? That's what it was like, bro. I thought I was gonna die. Bro, I thought I was gonna die. And my homie from Lincoln High School, that was a football player, came through, and he was our age, but he got left back, and they all respected him. So they all kind of like let us go. I thought I was going to die that day. I swear I did. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like that's what y'all doing to us. I feel like you have mushed us and you jumped on the jumbo jet, because I don't understand how you cannot do your own shit and then come through. I just want to offer this to y'all. The fuck? You know what I'm saying? I sit there and I'm like, and I'm looking at this and I'm saying, what is wrong with y'all? Like, this doesn't bother you what you doing? So either way, like that's all I really want to say. I'm the bad guy. I know. They call me the Roger Goodell of the BAIO. I know that. And
well,
say what?
I just want to say this, to piggyback off of that. We all have shit going on in our personal lives.
Right.
And I don't get on here and like sometimes you'll hear about it because like it might happen like that day when Kobe died, my aunt died. So it was like a crazy day. So y'all heard about that. But there's a lot of stuff going on in my personal life. I haven't really been able to make videos and do live streams like I used to be able to do because I got a lot of stuff going on. But my thing is, am I the only person who understands the ideology of land infrastructure nationhood that has a microphone and a computer? I mean, in order for this concept to go viral, this cannot just be one or two people pushing the ideology forward. We need to have multiple people doing live streams, multiple people doing videos, multiple people talking about the BAIO and talking about land infrastructure nationhood.
Yes.
Multiple people. Because once you have multiple people talking about it, they can't just nail it down to one person and try to destroy that person and then by proxy destroy the group.
Right. It's almost like, oh, good brother, my name is my name.
Yes, perfect example.
I don't think I've ever heard his voice in my life.
Right.
But he knows that he can edit and he's still pumping out videos. Like,
Right.
he makes me love my own voice. I ain't gonna lie to you, because I be like, I
I
said
don't think
all
anything can make me love my own voice.
that. Yo, I be like, I said all of that. You know what I'm saying? And the way
Hmm.
he edits it, it's just so butter the way he does it. And he's gotten better over the years too, because now he fades your voice in and out, and oh my god. But I'm just saying that's an example of somebody doing something other than just a live stream. Like, we're not saying everybody got to jump on, throw on a BAIO logo and do a live stream, but what we are saying is that there's stuff other people can do. But really, what I'm saying also is, again, I want to hammer this point home. I don't want to see you not do nothing in this group at all. We can't even drag you to a live stream, and then all of a sudden you got energy to do your own shit.
Yeah,
That,
now you done created BAIO 2.0 when we couldn't even get you to come on a live stream or to do a meet and greet. That's some
exactly.
bullshit.
Exactly. Like, oh, I can't come to the meet and greet. I ain't got time. This and next thing, and all of a sudden now you got so much energy, you gonna do the whole shit yourself. And it's just like, what? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, but either way, then we got a lot of people in the chat there. So yo, let's move with this one groove for him, bro.
All right.
How you
So
want to do? You want to read the monologue?
yeah, let me read the description again. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second.
I
I'm
hope they
trying to
still
figure
hang
out
around after I done heard some.
what happened.
I said I hope everybody hangs around after I done heard some feelings.
Nah, everybody loves you, man. There's no I can't imagine somebody hating you. I can't
Well,
imagine that. But this is the
according to Kid
description
Wit,
of
I'm not
what.
the real minister.
Okay.
Yeah. You see how I'm laughing at that one?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my god.
That's it worthy of a laugh. That's hysterical.
Dude, you're gonna be asking me to come pray for you after you freaking your lung die after you stop your damn cigarettes or cigars. Anyway,
The description is well. First of all, the title is Fox News Nationalist Redux, and this is based on the original show that Minister Dawood did. That's why I wanted him on here. And the description is Minister Dawood and Mr. Holipsism of the BAIO explore the question, what does a black conservative conserve? And break down the hypocrisy of Black Republican moralists and how they only embrace a principle when it fits their needs and abandons those same principles in a heartbeat when it does not. Their morals, and oh, this is a quote from the Joker, one of my favorite villains. Their morals, their code is a bad joke, dropped at the first sign of trouble. They're only as good as the world allows them to be. You'll see. I'll show you. When the chips are down, these civilized people, they'll eat each other. See, I'm not a monster. I'm just ahead of the curve.
yo, so
So I want you to
oh,
take it from there. Take the baton, my man.
okay. So me and Holland was discussing this earlier. This whole conservative, right wing, what do you conserve? We're the party of family values. We're the party of traditional values. We're the party of the party of you know uh, morals and principles. And I'm going to lob the ball up this way. I remember years ago when I first became an actual minister. Like, I was a student minister for mad years. And as the story goes, I could never really stay in the ministry because the dudes that were supposed to run the military part of the temple always would quit. So he would always steal me from the minister. My teacher would always steal me from the ministry and put me back into the the officer class. But eventually what happened was that when we broke off from the other nation, then I became the minister of the temple. So I remember in the beginning, I was struggling to kind of put my message together because I was used to preaching the message of that old leader. And I had to now make it a more black focused message and more even so biblical or scriptural message. So either way, long story short, we were supposed to be teaching from the quote unquote word of God. And I remember coming from it like a preacher would with the morals and the judgment and things like that. And I remember my teacher coming and saying, spirituality if you're not rooted in spirituality, what happens is a lot of time, all you think you're doing is preaching a lot of morals and discipline. And he said that never made anybody spiritual. He said, what we need to do is we need to take the word and we need to, if anything, deal with behaviors, which y'all know I deal with on my channel, but you more so need to inspire somebody to be a greater version of themselves. And from that, I took that point of view and I began to look at life that way. Because who says what your values is somebody else's value? And who said what your morals is somebody else's moral? So when you build your policy, you build your political policy, or you build your public policy based on the stringent moral code, you can't do this, you can't do that. There should be no sex outside of marriage. There should be no this, no that. We don't even want to get into the whole alternative lifestyle because like we said before, and we'll say it again, until I'm blue in the face. People who live alternative lifestyle, aka the alphabet crew, are not really interested in nationhood in the first place. And so therefore, we don't really have to talk about that much because they are well protected in this country. And they know that when they leave this country, it's on and popping. And so many people from the alphabet community, you know, LGBTQ, some people may want Black power, they may want some kind of Black nation, but they know damn well they should stay here in America because that's the most protected place for them. I don't see anybody talking about nationhood from that community. But nevertheless, when you get down to it, I think that these kind of people, these moralists, these kind of principalists, these people use what they learned here in America to make a separation and demarcation line between those who have and those who have not, and under the principle of we're trying to get back to the true African family. And nigga, you have no idea what the true African family You wouldn't know what the true African family was if it dropped on you out of the sky, but you're using basically your white supremacist values and you're inflicting it on somebody else in the name of African true tradition. And so is it really your morals that you say you have? Where did you get them from? If you say you got them from the Bible, that's questionable because that book is questionable. I'm going to tell you that. That book is questionable. If you say that, that you got it from, let's just say you got it from the laws of Mayat. Well, who says you really understand Mayat? You know what I'm saying? So the book goes on, but what I really feel like is most time moralists are very good at judging people according to the things that they're strong in. And they're very good at hiding the things that they're weak in and not really emphasizing those things as policy. And so for me, when it comes to a Fox News nationalist, to me, it's the same thing because these are the very people that looked into the TV and said, young men and women, Santa Claus is white. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you serious? Like that. You may say, what minister, what does that have to do with anything? What I'm basically saying to you is, how come this person keeps retracting their messages? What I'm basically saying, brothers and sisters, is, I'm sorry, that kind of threw me off. What I'm basically saying, brothers and sisters, is this is a group of people who will say anything to fit a certain narrative and make that narrative consistent. You know what I'm saying? So in other words, we follow behind this, whether it has facts, whether it has concrete science behind it, we basically follow behind this and that. And to me, it's just that's what Fox News nationalists are trying to repeat. Is black people in the nationalist community trying to preach a certain narrative, regardless of whether there's facts, figures, or whether they are living that shit themselves.
Yeah. And a lot of them need to update their fucking resume or update their references. We got Fox News nationalists talking about gangster rap. This is not the 90s. What gangster rap are you talking about?
Oh my God, yo.
What gangster rap artist is out right now?
That's what I wonder. My children, let me just say this. My oldest daughter is 23. My children have no idea what gangster rap is. They have no earthly idea. When you say, is he a gangster rapper? My children will look at you like you just said Santa Claus was white. That's exactly what they'll look at you like. They'll be like, what? What's gangster rap, daddy? They
Yeah,
have no earthly idea.
gangster rap is taking over the community. Get the fuck up. This is not the 90s.
See,
Shit, when was NWA out?
1991, 92.
Like early 90s, coming out of the 80s. What the
Yeah,
fuck?
yep, coming out of the 80s.
Ain't nobody talking about no gangster shit in today's music.
Yep.
You gonna call the baby a gangster rapper? Lil Pump is a, is a gangster rapper. These are the guys that's running with the globe right now.
Oh, Dom, is your Facebook profile suspended, son? I'm sorry, Dom just showed up.
Peace, Dom.
I think your profile must be suspended because I ain't seen you on Facebook in a while. But I'm glad to see you okay. Nah, you're right though. You're right. So the thing is that to me is, we all have a basic understanding of what's right and what's wrong. We can all agree with that. Nobody is saying that the nation. Oh, I got you. That's what I figured. Nobody is saying that the nation that we are building is going to be a free fall. You can do whatever you want to do. However, what we are saying is we need to really, really come together and evaluate what true morals are, because the reality of the situation is that when you are one person and you get to basically choose who does what and who doesn't do anything, it's all basically according to what you think you're strong in and what you're hiding. Not what you're weak in, what you're hiding.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so
Yeah.
I want to interject this conversation. What I want to talk about is that I was watching the debate the other day. I was at the laundromat, and the lady who was running the debate, and I want to say this was Wednesday, I think. I'm not sure. But the lady that was running the debate, she said, so Bernie Sanders, as a democratic socialist, how do you feel about this and that? And as I was saying to you before, but they didn't get a chance to hear this. See, I think that's a big mistake to run under the title of democratic socialist. And the reason being is, see, in the Nation of Islam, we have the understanding of socialism is a society of men or groups of men for one common cause. And that is not what white people think socialism is. And that is not what even black people think what socialism is. Because what happens is the redneck Republicans, the real Fox News nationalists, they have been succeeded in equating socialism with communism, and basically socialism with Nazis. So the average person that never read more than 5 books in their life, they're going to hear you call yourself a democratic socialist, and they're going to say, oh my God, he's trying to restore the Nazis. It's going to be Hitler all over again, because that's all they've been doing for the last 20 years. Every time you talk to a Republican and you bring up socialism, the first thing he says to you is either one or two things. Either you're trying to resurrect Hitler or Castro. Those are one or two things. And so because of that, when you run as a democratic socialist, I just think it's a mistake. Because I understand what you're trying to say. You, hold up, understand what he's trying to say. But I think that they have demonized the word socialist so freaking much that if you run in that party, all they got to do is keep their machine going and you're going to lose. What do you think?
I think that you should define what it is that you are. Like if I'm a big believer in educating people. Like for me, like, and I think I had spoken to you about this with Whoopi Goldberg,
Right.
and she, like she represents the typical Democratic establishment hack.
Yep.
Because the same thing she attacks just recently, she attacked Bernie Sanders for saying that Fidel Castro did good by making, having 100% literacy in his country.
Right.
She attacked him and said, how could you say that? He was a dictator. He was this, he was that. And just a hot minute ago, she was praising Barack Obama for reestablishing communications with Cuba, allowing people to go to Cuba. And then when she was questioned on it, this is what really pissed me off. She was questioned on it on the show, and they said, well, he didn't say that he loved Castro. He just mentioned about the literacy rate. She said, yeah, well, the problem is that Americans don't see nuance.
Right.
And I'm like, well, bitch, apparently you see it. So why not educate people on what the fucking nuance is? Don't just say, oh, well, there people don't see nuance. You know, if you know the nuance, express the nuance. That's why you got a fucking TV show.
Yep. Yep.
If you're not doing that, what that means is you're misleading people purposefully.
Right.
That's why I got so angry with that. So, like, to get back to your point, first, common when you talk about socialism, um, basically what you're talking about is where the government basically controls everything. There's really no private ownership.
Right.
What Bernie Sanders, and the crazy part about it, Bernie Sanders isn't really even that left wing. He just appears left wing because the country is so right wing.
Right.
What he's basically saying is he's endorsing like social democracies. He calls himself a democratic socialist, and to be honest, he's at fault for the reason why his philosophy is taking it, because democratic socialist is not even what he is. He's a social democrat, which basically means that he's for a capitalist society with a social safety net.
Right.
He's not for the end of capitalism. He wants a capitalist society, meaning that there's going to be private ownership and commerce and business, but he wants a social safety net for the citizens.
Right.
That's basically what. So anybody that tries to say to push up communism in Venezuela, you're being disingenuous, you're being dishonest, and you're being a hack.
But it works though, bro. It works.
Yes, of course, because people don't. The purpose of the media is not to inform and enlighten. It's
Right.
to it's to misinform. Like I forget the quote that I had put on my page. I think it says, "If you don't watch the news, you're uninformed. If you watch the news, you're misinformed."
Right. That's perfect. That's perfect.
That's basically it.
Now let's lead it to us. Okay, so we as BAIO, what is our standpoint? What is our form of government? What is our particular dominating theme? And I know that this is something that we talked about, we've hammered out, but we still have a lot more deliberation about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's exactly what you're saying, which is this: we want a government and a nation that empowers Black people. We want a nation that basically gives you the same rights white people have,
Mm-hmm.
which is this: that you can basically totally fail in life and then wake up the next day, and if you choose to try to succeed, there's all sorts of things in place to help you succeed. That's what being a white person in America is like. Can
Right.
you imagine if you woke up one day after blowing your wife away for like 30 years and deciding that you really wanted to get your life together, and the entire country was down for this? Could you imagine that? No, you can't,
Right.
because you never had that.
Can you imagine being Eminem?
No,
Like think about it. Eminem can be a Black dude for about up until the age of like 39, and now that he's 40, he's turned into a white dude now.
Yep.
Now
Yep.
he can reap all the benefits of this society that is present for him as a white dude. He
Yep.
can go and screw Black girls and do all this other stuff, but when it comes time for him to come of age, he can fit right on in.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, that's what we want for us. That's what we want for us. We want for us to that you could say, and don't get me wrong, brothers and sisters, I'm not trying to say you should be able to throw your life away. But what I am saying is that, do you have any idea how far you're behind if you don't get on the bike early in life? Here, you are really far behind. And I always go back to this article. You could find it yourself. All you got to do is go to Google and type Business Insider 20 years of no mistakes. That article that came out in Business Insider, and it said you have to have 20 years of basically no mistakes to build wealth in America. But it was not talking about them. It was talking about you.
Right.
It was talking about you. Because I'll be damned if they go through 20 years of no mistakes and get out of here, yo. Like Donald Trump filed bankruptcy how many times? You know what I'm saying?
He's
So
making mistakes right now.
exactly. Exactly. And still got money. And so what we're saying to you, brothers and sisters, is that it's nobody is pushing you to vote. But what we are pushing you to do is watch the process and listen to the policy. See, this is where, as a nation, you get your education as to what you don't want to do. I'll give you an example. I'm working with a dude, and this is the dude that I was working with on the tip of Jersey over near what's called over near Pennsylvania, Thursday, Friday, Monday, and Tuesday. And the dude had already been in business doing what we do, and he miserably failed. He like not only did his family member like basically steal, like there was a family member that stole like well the family member of his wife stole like $30,000 of his business, but also there was some other stuff like he was saying that basically he took on certain jobs and the people took 60 days to pay him, and because of that, like, you know, these were $30,000 jobs and he had put $15,000 up, and he was like, I mean, when it takes you $10,000, you know, a month to get $15,000 paid, you know, you still put out the, I mean, just stuff that my dad had told me from day one, never do. You know what I'm saying? When you're small, take small jobs. Only deal with customers that pay you as fast as you need to. All the stuff that my dad told me to do, he didn't do. So I'm telling my dad about these things, and he's saying to me, he said, it's good. I want you to stay around this guy. I'm like, why? He said, because I want you to know what not to do. Yeah. His white family member, Dom, stole $30,000 from him. And basically what he was doing is because this is very often in retail situations, what they do is they'll act like they're going to a store for a part, they'll get themselves a part. Or if there's retail that comes in and they have to write checks COD, they'll write 3 checks for UPS, 3 checks for them. Just like there was in that cartoon, 3 for you, 1 3 for me. I've seen this at like 4 places I've seen now. Or sometimes if you got an accountant, the accountant will take the money that's supposed to be paid for the sales tax and never pay the sales tax. And I mean, there's a thousand. Listen, I'm in loss prevention as a security guy, so there's 1,000 ways that people steal from you. Trust me, it's hard. And I encourage any of y'all, if you're in business by yourself, that's cool. But if you get employees, man, you better have serious controls and accountability mechanisms in your business, because niggas will steal from you. And I say it again, niggas will steal from you. It's not an if, it's a when. And so therefore, because trust me, the job I have now, I go around to thousands of grocery stores doing security, and they need their stuff working because people is always stealing, and it's the employees too. So be that as it may, what I'm basically saying to you is that watch the debates, because as you watch the debates, what you're going to find out is you're hearing people's idea of policy, how strong and how weak it is, and then you can apply that to how you want your nation to be. See, for years, bro, I'm sorry, hold up, I just got to get this point out. For years, as conscious community members, all we ever talked about was what kind of spirituality we wanted. That's all we ever talked about. And you can see the people stuck in a fucking time warp on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter right now, where I saw this the other day, somebody posted this. So-and-so is having a seminar, what to do after religion. You mean to tell me we still talking about that? I looked at this. I just looked at this dude and his lady, and I was just like, y'all are making whole seminars about this? My nigga, come on, my nigga. Like, come on, son. Like that, yo, can you hear the anguish in my voice? Like, you mean to tell me you still jacking that same bullshit in 2020? We done had enough of post-religion, present religion, pre-religion. We done have, let's talk about building our own nation. Who gives a damn about that? But the point is, for years, that's all we talked about. All we talked about was what kind of spiritual system is. And this is one of the reasons why when you come in our BAIO group jacking that shit, we delete that post right away. We don't want to talk about it no more. That is what we've been using to stall. What we want to talk about is what kind of nation, what kind of government, what kind of workforce, all of these kind of things, because that's what's most pertinent. Nigga, talk about your religion in your own spare time, period, or your lack of religion. And when you look at all of these candidates and what they're talking about, it helps you to understand where we're going and what we want to get the hell away from. And to me, that's what's fascinating about it. I'm sorry, bro.
No, go right ahead. Go right ahead. But I agree with you. It's like everything. Um, you have to know. How can I put it? It's important to see these things playing out
Right.
because you have to know how not to do things in our nation.
Right.
You know, one of the things that this country is basically an oligarchy. Perfect example is Bloom. You know what I find to be just shockingly, this shows you how just normal stuff that should not exist is just considered just normal. Nobody even questions it.
Right.
Mike Bloomberg paid the DNC $300,000 and they changed their debate rules. He just basically up front paid them off, bribed them. They changed the rules and allowed him to come to the debate. It didn't work out for him, as you can see.
Right.
But my thing is, the news they just say that and it's no big deal. It's like they don't go on to say that that's corrupt.
Right.
They just say it like matter of factly. Oh well, Bloomberg, they don't even say he paid off the DNC. They said that he contributed to the
Right.
DNC, and the DNC decided that they were going to change their rules. Isn't that a big deal? I mean, it should be. If this was our nation and some single individual paid off a political party to basically skirt the rules, that wouldn't be a big deal in our country. But here it's normal because bribery is normal. They've made bribery legal here in America. You could just pay off a politician and that politician will work in your interest.
Right.
And everybody looks at that as normal. It's just normal behavior.
Indeed. and oh my God. Oh my God. It's just.
But there's one thing I wanted to touch on though. I wanted us to get back to the Black Republican Moralist.
Okay.
The Fox News Nationalists. And this is the one attribute about them that I wanted to really concentrate on.
Okay.
You hear them talk about law. You hear them talk about order. You hear them talk about all of these highfalutin concepts of we got to have a structure and an order to things. And these motherfuckers will abandon that shit in a heartbeat if it doesn't work in their interest.
Yep.
Just like the Joker said, their code is a joke. They don't have any principles. I put out a post on Facebook saying, does anybody know what principles are? Because I keep saying these things and saying these words, and I wonder, do people actually know what principles are? Do they even know?
Indeed.
Principles is something that's a guideline or a guidepost to your life. It's not something that you just toss aside. It's all right. Like, I'll give you an example. If your principle is, I'm not going to take money from big donors because if I do, it will make me corrupt because people don't give you money for nothing.
Right.
They give you money because they want favors. So if they're giving you money, they're buying you. Right. So as a principle, I'm not going to take money. That's the principle. And then you turn around and now all of a sudden you start taking big money and then trying to justify it. Then you're not a principled person.
Right.
Your principles are pliable. You know what pliable is?
It's basically a line that you draw that nobody should cross, including you.
Right. How many people do you know that are principled?
Very few.
Exactly. Very few.
And that's like compared to the amount of people I know. I mean, I know, I know quite a few, you know what I'm saying, like principled people, but I'm saying in comparison to the amount of people I know in general, very few.
Yeah, it's a very small percentage of people who are principled. Very small percentage.
And I do
And I
understand.
respect that, even if I don't. I can respect the principled person even if I don't believe in what they believe in.
Right. Right. Yep. Yep. I want to say this to add on to that though, and that is that that's not to say that see people one thing people do dispute or confuse when it comes to principles. That means that you're the same person you've always been. Like you believed in the same thing since you was 5 years old. To me, that's not principle. That's kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Because information comes out and understanding comes out, and you become a different person.
Hmm.
And when that happens, what you think is right, you roll with. And I would always stand behind you based on what you think is right in comparison to what was right years ago. And we just always did it this way. Fuck.
Right.
You
Exactly.
understand? So, that's kind of how I evolved into the person that I am today, is because I've always been seeking information. And like I said before, me doing my show helped me evolve into the person that I was, because I had to study for the show and I grew through the study
Hmm.
and the people that I interacted with, because the more I would do my show, my first blog talk show, the more I would draw certain people into my life. And those people began to pull on my thread of what I understood and brought me to a different understanding. And I always like to meet people, man, who can make me really think like that. There's two things I like. I like transformative books, transformative people, and in no special order. Because I can remember, I'll give you an example. I can remember years ago when I used to go to Boyd's bookstore. Who here has been to a bookstore in the last 5 years? You know what I'm saying? It's hard to go because you could get whatever you want to on Amazon. But either
Right.
way, long story short, I used to go to the bookstore all the time, and I remember I was in there to read military history. And I remember one day, this girl that was working at the store, she came through with a cot, and on the cot was this one book. It was nice. It was brown and it was thick as hell. And it was a book about William Tecumseh Sherman. But it said in his quest or his obsession with order. I said, oh shit, that sounds pretty like unique. And I read the book. It was like 600, maybe 700 pages. Totally changed the way I looked at war.
Mm.
Totally changed the way I looked at war, because this dude did not believe in fighting any battle that would waste resources and lives or whatever. He believed that going after one thing, and he didn't give a fuck who you were over him or whatever. He'd rather die than go after that one thing, because to him, the secret to war was not you in a set battle with the troops. The secret of the war was to kill, to basically erode people's will to fight, the people's will to fight, not the army. So he
Right.
went right past your army and started burning houses and villages with people in them, with babies and all that stuff. And I was like, this nigga's crazy. But what happened is that the more he did that, the more people would say, yo, we got to give up. They going too hard here. And that's what's called total war. And so therefore, like, it totally changed my thought about warfare, because up until then, I just thought it was about having the right formation, the right supply chain, all that other stuff. This dude was saying, why have all of that when you could just go after the number one thing that causes war, which is the people. So when you meet people or you read books and they change the way you think, or they totally revolutionize the way you think, then your principles change. But nevertheless, it's still solid principles that you draw a line and you don't cross yourself.
Right.
And I think that's unfortunately not what a Fox News nationalist. A Fox News nationalist is a person that takes law and order and uses it to their benefit based on. Here's what I do want to talk about for a brief. And I know you're down to talk about this. We were talking about this, I think, at the last poetry outing I was at. What we were talking about is how religion controls sex. You want to talk about that for a second?
Sure.
So what we were talking about is, because you ask yourself, I believe this. I believe originally a religion controlled certain forms of sex in order to benefit the family, because family was needed to keep community together.
Hmm.
I think religion said fuck that after a while and just used these laws and principles just to control another person's sex. And the reason why I say that is because back in the day, everybody adhered to these laws, even the leaders and the preachers. But if you go to Saudi Arabia where you could die for God knows what. It's the people at the top that's not following that.
Of
You know what I'm
course not.
saying? The people at the bottom have to follow it. The people at the top is not following that.
I
It,
guarantee you, the people at the top ain't adhering to Ramadan.
yep, yep, yes, sir. Because you know what they said? They said when they had Saddam trapped, basically when the U.S. before they executed him, that
Hmm.
nigga was eating 3 meals a day
Yeah,
during Ramadan.
yeah.
So, when that got out, it kind of people started looking at it, and that's something a lot of people don't talk about. It's like, what? Yeah, he was eating 3 meals a day. He didn't give a damn about no Ramadan. He didn't give a damn about none of this stuff because he was a dictator. And so, to me, religion seeks to control sex. It doesn't seek to build community or family because in all reality, if the leaders ain't following it, how you building community, how you can build a family? And quite frankly, from what I've seen, and you don't get me started on this whole religious or anti-religious talk, but what I've seen in a lot of cases is that most religions cater to the person that's giving them the most money as far as tithes is concerned. And they really don't care about families staying together or people staying together. In many cases, leaders in religion cause your family to break up anyway. So if that's all on the table, what are they using these morals and these principles for? They're using them to control you and make
Hmm.
you feel guilty and make you feel ashamed so that you can stay under control.
Yeah.
It's not for what it was originally meant. So how does this have to do with a Fox News nationalist? Well, basically, Fox News nationalists usually use their quote unquote faith as a guide and a line of demarcation that if you cross this line, then you're out of, you know what I'm saying? You're outside of my morality. And in reality, as far as I'm concerned, none of you niggas believe in that shit. And I want to call out the names: the Christians, the Muslims, the African spirituality practitioners, the voodoo practitioners, all of you Fox News nationalists who claim you got something and people cross those based on your principles. None of you niggas really follow that when we follow you behind closed doors. So it's really just methods of control.
And you know what the good news is?
What's that?
The good news is hormones always win.
That is true.
Hormones don't care about your philosophy.
Yep.
Because I know when I was in, because like I told you, my father was a Jehovah's Witness and my mother was a Baptist.
Right.
And so when I would go into either the church or the Kingdom Hall and I would see those thick ass thighs, I did not believe that God was that cruel.
Right.
You ain't gonna put all that in front of me and then say don't touch it.
Right. Or don't
So
look at
hormones went
it.
out in the end.
Mm-hmm.
And all these people who got a problem with what I just said are full of shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's either two things going on. Either they lying or they ain't getting none.
Right. Or both.
Or both. Lying and not getting none.
Yep. Word.
And
Yo, I got
copy and paste that shit. Clip that.
word up. I have a sister on my timeline that is really into quote unquote her religion. And she's always posting videos from because that's the new thing in all religions is they got people, various different preachers that's going on live on Facebook and talking about stuff. It's ridiculous, son. So either way, like she posts these videos and this one dude was talking about how what's called how you have to basically your husband is in your church and your wife is in your church, you keep looking elsewhere. And the funny thing about it, he said, I got people calling me up, you know what I'm saying, because they don't want to sin. And I'm like, okay, what is he talking about? They don't want to masturbate, they don't want to this, that, and next thing. I'm like, hold up, time out. You literally got people calling you up saying they don't want to masturbate. How the fuck are you gonna stop that?
And you know what's really sad?
What's that?
When you have to call somebody up because you don't want to masturbate?
Yeah.
What kind of bullshit is that? Wow, they really got you. They
Son,
got you on some bullshit.
yep. Like
That's actually you actually having some conflicts. I don't know. I don't know, Pastor, if I should be. You talking to another nigga about masturbating. That is some crazy ass shit to me. It's crazy to me that somebody is doing that.
Yo, he said his phone rings off the hook. And the funny thing about it is his phone rings off the hook 3 o'clock in the morning.
Look at the Dom said, "Stop playing with yourself."
Like I'm watching this video and I'm
Don't masturbate. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I tell you, that's the thing that made me realize just how much powerful hormones are compared to philosophy.
Yep.
That let me know back in the day, because sisters are too damn fine for people to be talking about that. Oh, sex before marriage is wrong. Get the fuck out of here.
Word up.
Get out of here, please. And every single preacher and pastor is getting some from the congregation. He's laying hands on those sisters.
Yo, and here's the funny thing though. So it's the religion that controls you so that you can't have sex, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then you get married and you don't really know what the fuck you're doing.
Right.
So now you got to go back to the pastor to get advice on how to do something who already just restricted you from learning how to do it. Like
you know what the crazy part to me was that I always asked?
What's that?
If sex is just all right, they say sex is to reproduce. That means that every time you have sex, you have a kid?
Word.
So sex is not for pleasure, or is pleasure wrong?
Yep. No, that's what
the philosophy. That pleasure is wrong. Pleasure is evil.
Yep. That's what they're saying.
Get the fuck out of here.
Right.
Take your bullshit with you. Get the fuck out of here. That's bullshit. And if you that type of person that's sitting up there wondering whether you should call your goddamn pastor because you want to get a nut out. Shit. I don't even know what to do with you.
Exactly. And that's why I'm hoping, even though we're doing this is kind of lighthearted, I'm hoping that if you are down with nationhood and you listen to this video, I'm hoping that we bust your religion wide open. I'm hoping that
pardon the pun, right?
Yep. I'm hoping that we have become nationhood TIs, that we totally stole your hymen. That's what I'm hoping for. Because it's time for you to grow up. Yeah. It is time for you to grow up. And like I said, like the older you get, the more you realize that a lot of this is methods of control. You know what I'm saying? So I guess this is a perfect foundation to talk about really the Foxness. You know, and I want to get into this little kid being this little child, being arrested. These two children being arrested at the age of 10.
Yeah.
But you know, it's almost like these are the foundations that Fox News nationalists use to kind of restrict you. They start off with this code, this phony ass code of law that you're supposed to follow that they don't follow themselves, and it extends to other things. So here it is. Okay, listen, brothers and sisters, I got 5 children. I don't know how many children you got, but I know I got 5. And I'd be lying to you if I tell you it is easy to raise children, keep them straight. And even if you raise them in a strict culture like mine, Nation of Islam culture, the reality of it is some people use the Bible to justify having multiple baby mamas by saying be fruitful because the Bible says, yep. Yeah, there's a lot of different religions that promote that too. But either way, so here's the thing, like we all know that having children is not easy. We know that controlling children is not easy. And definitely when you send your child to school, I don't care how good of a parent you are, you never know how they're going to act. Right. You really never know how they're going to act. Because there's so many different factors that go into it, such as how they feel, what they ate, you know, what they saw on TV, what happened in your home, what happened outside. There's so many factors that can make a child tweak out because they're a child. Right. And I believe, honestly, that these schools, because these jobs pay so little, these schools really can't afford to screen you properly as a person that works in the school or around the school as to do you know what I'm saying? Because Yo, listen, you can't work inside of a school if you don't like children.
Right.
And I think it's too many people that work in schools that just don't like children. You know, bro, from coming up in Brooklyn, there was the one or two security guards that you knew was going to slam a nigga against the wall. There was those teachers that everybody said was mean. There should be no such thing as a mean teacher.
Right.
There should be no such thing. Now that we're older, it kind of makes sense, right? We never figured this out when we was younger. But why is there such thing as a mean teacher? That means that teacher don't like children. That shouldn't be possible. That person should be fired a long time ago. But either way, what happened in the school is I guess it was a black dude actually who he went and he arrested two children. One child, they were successful in getting him to stop before he took to the station. The other child he took all the way to the station and he got fired. But I remember you, Holip, saying he must be a black Republican. Can you explain?
Yeah, because it's all about the law on everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So like in their mind, they're like, oh, well, I'm gonna teach this kid a lesson. Teach him how you got to respect the law. Da 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 da. Why? Because they're the one that's enforcing the law.
Right.
But they never want the law enforced on them.
Right.
Like I said, just hypocrites. That's another example of Fox News nationalists.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect example. Here's another example of hypocrisy. This one is not even a right-wing hypocrisy. This is some left-wing hypocrisy.
Right.
Recently, they asked, and this should have been a really big deal on television, but it wasn't. At the last, next to last or last Democratic debate, they asked all the candidates, they say, if you don't get the majority, if nobody gets over 50%, do you think that the person who got the most votes should win the nomination? Everybody on the stage said no, and they would rather it go to a convention and let the super delegates decide who gets the nomination. All the Democrats on the stage said that except Bernie Sanders.
Right.
Now let's look at that. That means that that's supposedly that's their principle. Let's go through the process. What were they saying when in 2016 when Hillary Clinton lost to Donald Trump?
Exact opposite.
She got the popular vote. She really won the election. Donald Trump didn't win the election. She won the election because she had more votes than him.
Yep.
Did you see what I'm saying about principles and how people will abandon their principles in a heartbeat if it doesn't benefit them? This is what I'm talking about. And we got a lot of people out here. All of these fucking moralists are the same to me. They're a bunch of jokes. The ultimate moralist is Bill Cosby. And you got people who will rail on Pookie and Ray Ray 24/7, 365 days out of the year. They're the worst. They're the scum of the earth. They don't get no benefit of the doubt, no nothing. Throw them in jail, kill them. It doesn't even matter. But then when you get a pervert like Bill Cosby, or you get a pervert that can fucking sing, now all of a sudden your principles go out the fucking window. You want to give them a pass. Why? Because it's somebody that you like.
Right.
That's not a principled person. I don't like a fucking pedophile if it's Harvey Weinstein or Bill Cosby. Don't compare pedophile. Like I'm supposed to take the back of a black pedophile? That means you don't have no goddamn principles. That means that you're not really against pedophilia. If it's a black person doing it, then you're okay with it.
Right. That's ridiculous, man. It really is. Like,
get the fuck out of here, man. That's what I'm saying. I don't like unprincipled people because I don't trust you. I know that I can't trust you because I know that your morals and your principles are very pliable. It depends on who you're around. Yep. And you will change them in a heartbeat if it fits you.
Yep. Nah, for real though. We've been fighting this battle. I think we've been fighting this battle on social media for like 4 years now.
Something like
that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, like, are y'all retarded? Like, You mean to tell me that all of the evidence that supports the fact that Bill Cosby at least drugged one person. Let's not say the 50 to 60 people he did it to, but just one. And we even got Aaliyah is the most standout person when it comes to R. Kelly and his underage business. You guys continue to put those memes up saying, "Oh, well, they didn't do nothing to Harvey Weinstein." So now that they prosecuted Harvey Weinstein and charged him, now all of a sudden all of these people are silent. And to me, it's like, listen, I was on the panel, and I said this in the group. I was on the panel, and we were talking about Black love on a radio show, and most of the people on the radio show sadly were saying that the first time they saw Black love was on the Cosby Show in Different World. I think, honestly, brother, that that's one of the reasons why people are going so hard for Bill Cosby, because the construct of Black love that they've seen, it stays in their head, and they have sentimental attachment to it. That the first time I ever saw Black love was Bill Cosby, Claire Huxtable, in their perfect family where nobody was on drugs and nothing. And then Different World, where, yes, some people struggle with tuition, but it was a nice, loving environment. But in reality, you've been to college. I've been to college. Niggas fight. You know what I'm saying? Stab each other. When I was in college, I was at the community college. Niggas was busting shots at each other. It was nothing like the Different World. I can tell you that much. I remember, like, the first time I saw somebody bust a shot at somebody at college, I said, damn, I came all the way up here to get away from Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was in Lock Sheldrake, New York. And so this is not like, crazy stuff happens on college campuses. That's not it wasn't anything like Different World. And why am I saying that? I'm saying that Different World really was a facsimile of what college was like. And Lord have mercy, most of us as dudes, let's keep it 100. When we watched A Different World, we was like, oh, I want to go to college because there's mad chicks in college. There's like 5 chicks to 1 dude in college. You know what I'm saying? And I went to college, dude, and my college had 3 dudes to 1 woman.
Oh, that sucks.
Bro, man, in the beginning of the semester, we used to go on hunts. It would be dudes in waves just knocking on doors. Hi, my name is Dawud. Hi, my name is Dawud. Because you had to lock your female up before the wintertime came. You know what I'm saying? That's how scared it was.
You should have went to BMCC.
Oh, man,
Gee whiz, man. Whew. It was rough concentrating there.
Oh, I can imagine. Yo, listen, you went to Sullivan County Community College. It was not rough. Trust me.
You had plenty of room to concentrate, right?
Dude, man, listen. It was like, yo, we remember the terminology props was out back then?
The what?
The terminology props
yeah. Mm-hmm.
We used to say this college suffers from LOP, lack of props. I know I'm dating myself. You got to be in our age group to understand that terminology, yo. So I guess what I'm saying is that both the Cosby Show and A Different World, 3-1, bro. It was terrible. Both those shows really were beautiful shows, but they weren't reality. And just like Bill Cosby seemed to be a beautiful dude, but it wasn't reality because behind closed doors, he was a creep. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's the funny thing about a Fox News nationalist, which really ties into it, is that most of the Fox News nationalists that I've seen, they are defending Bill Cosby to the end because what are they defending? They're defending an ancient concept. Damn, that shit is perfect, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
They're defending an ancient concept. It's the same thing as the morality. Exactly why I didn't go to HB2. Fine, educated black. What you call it? They're defending a concept that doesn't exist and probably wasn't real in the first place anyway. And like I said on my family values show, and understand something, brothers and sisters, I'm not against family values and I'm not against traditional families. What I'm saying is that the majority of us have never really experienced it. And what I'm also saying is the concept of traditional families has to change because it hasn't really worked out for us the way we say it is. We as a people have been miserable as fuck together for years, and the concept of traditional family values has to change. It really does. And so
I don't even know what is traditional. Are they talking about that Leave It to Beaver the husband, wife, 2.5 kids, and the picket fence and all that shit, that American dream bullshit. Is that what the traditional family is?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
gee, I wonder who came up with that. Yeah, that sounds African to me.
Exactly. Pata Tahuti Ankh Ray Taha Patu. Can't, because come on, yo, like no. Listen, many of us who try and get out of debt and get responsible for our resources, some of us listen to Dave Ramsey show. And if you listen to Dave Ramsey show, couples call in all the time. And they talk about getting out of debt and paying off the house and things like that. And you have to do what you have to do in America. But the point of building our own nation is to avoid the kind of lifestyle that they're talking about, which is me and you, we got to work 5, 10, 15 jobs to be together, me and you as a woman. And, we made a mistake going to college, and now we got $150,000 between us in debt, and we got to work our asses off and almost kill ourselves in order to, what's called? In order to get out of debt and things like that. And while, listen, I'm on the program, you know what I'm saying? I'm on baby step 2, so I'm on the program. But the point is that really the right thing that you want in your nation? Do you want in your nation, you and your lady have to bust your asses, y'all don't see each other, y'all selling, y'all working, your bone, all of this stuff just so you can be free? Is that really how you want to live? And
Right.
to me, that encapsulates a Fox News nationalist kind of lifestyle, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to take America over to Africa.
Right.
So once you get to Africa, you got the same fears, pressures, stresses that you had here. And what is the use of building a nation if you got to go through the same thing over there?
Thank you.
You understand?
Exactly. And the beautiful part about it is a new nation is sort of like a blank slate.
Right.
We have all of this history laid out before us of what everybody did wrong. And we also have history laid out before us presently of what people are doing right.
Right.
Why not take the successful models and adapt them and customize them to our needs?
Right. I mean,
You
to
know?
begin with, we have to look at the whole education model. What makes sense, you know what I'm saying, as an education model? What
Mm-hmm.
makes sense as a work and compensation model? And this is how, this is where you attract like really powerful economic minds into because I could come up with ideas, you could come up with ideas, all of you in the chat room come up with ideas. But what we really need is we need Black African economists.
Mm-hmm.
We need brothers and sisters and brothers who know how economies work and have studied many models that can advise on this. It's just like the BAIO. One of the things I'm proud of with what Holip and Kexia and the rest of them did is you got to understand something, brothers and sisters. Like it was me, Kala, Holip, and some other people for years. And in the last 2-3 years, the group exploded and we got some really talented people in the group. Not saying everybody else wasn't talented, but we weren't talented in certain areas. So now we got a whole bunch of IT people in the group. So before, making a website was one person's job. Now making a website is like 4 to 5 people job. And let me tell you something about this badass nigga named Holip. Not only did we have 4 or 5 people doing a website, we had a fucking intern.
Mm-hmm.
We had an intern. What's fucking with that? You tell me what's fucking, like when I saw that, I said, holy shit. We literally had an intern. So not only did we have people, but we had somebody that wanted to learn IT, trailing them to figure out how to do IT. What is fucking with that? That to me is walking the walk, not talking the talk. You know what I'm saying? Because if in the midst of building this website, you got somebody who can sit there and learn. That is beautiful to me, B. And that's kind of what we're trying to say, is that in the midst of that, we had really powerful IT minds working on that. So what happens when it comes to economy, you have powerful Black economic minds? What happens when it comes to security? Myself and other people, you have powerful security minds. You see how this thing works? Go ahead. I'm sorry. You want to jump in?
Yeah, how are you going to have those powerful minds and those talented individuals if they don't get involved?
Yep. Yep.
Because everybody keeps asking this question, what y'all going to do about this? What y'all going to do about that? It's like, nigga, do you not understand what this whole thing is about?
Right.
What is your skill set? What are you going to do? Everybody keeps looking, they got their hands in their pocket, looking around, wondering, well, what's this one going to do? You got to get involved. If this is a nation,
Mm-hmm.
then don't the nation have to have citizens?
Yes.
And
Yes.
shouldn't those citizens be involved in the nation? But it's like if you can't have a nation if everybody is waiting for somebody else to do something. And that's the thing that I love about like Kexia. Nobody paid her to do this. You know what
Word.
I'm saying?
Yep.
Actually,
Yep.
I felt bad. I suggested that she get paid and she refused. Why? Because she believes in land infrastructure nationhood and she believes that we should have a nation of our own and she wants to contribute whatever her talents are toward making that happen. And she did.
Mm-hmm.
Go to BAIO That's her contribution.
Yep. I mean, that's just the word hard, bro. Oh my God.
Exactly.
And here's another thing that speaks to the BAIO philosophy, which is this: that we empowered women and we let women do what they do. And you can say we're full of shit, you know, deep down inside we're misogynists. Well, ask Kexia if we're full of shit. You know what I'm saying? Ask her if we're full of shit. Ask her if we dominated the process. Ask her if we double talked her or talked over her. Ask her if we, you know what I'm saying, did what niggas do, which is come on to her and call her sweetheart every 5 seconds. Ask her if we did that. Or ask her if we treated her like a respectable black woman and allowed her to do what she did and praised her for it. Ask her if we did that. Because we're not here just jabbering off at the mouth. And then when you ask us, you know what I'm saying, like, how do you feel about women? We say, well, y'all shouldn't be involved until the nation is built already. What kind of bullshit is that?
Yeah, and first of all, the person is making that goddamn statement. What the fuck are you doing besides running your goddamn mouth?
Right.
You ain't doing shit.
Right.
You're not bringing in bodies. You're not winning hearts and minds because that's what this is about. It's about winning hearts and minds, getting people to see our point of view. It ain't about talking at people. It's about talking to people.
Yep. Yep.
And until you understand that, you ain't gonna be leading a fucking. You ain't gonna be leading nothing.
Nope.
And why are you even concerned about leading something? Like I said, people try to push me into that leadership shit, man. I ain't going for that mind fuck. I'm not going for that because people see, and I put this out a long time ago. If anybody want to go through my archives, you can see a video that I made called "The Mind Fuck of Leadership." Because when people push you out to be a leader, it ain't no fucking compliment.
Right.
They pushing you out to be a leader because then they don't got to do nothing. They watch you twist in the wind, see how the system is going to do, see how you handle it, and they sit back, get their popcorn out, like, oh, and whether you win or whether you fail, it's like, oh well. If you won, they'll praise you. If you fail, they'll write songs about you or put a memorial up.
Right.
My position is this: we need to stop treating black people like they fucking babies, spoiled brats who need to be picked up instead of walking. Walk. I'm not picking you up.
Yep.
Because that's the only way the baby is going to learn how to actually walk.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's 2020, man. Like, you know, listen, there's certain things like that, you know, I ain't jacking in 2020.
You see it in the chat room?
Yeah, she is. Yep. Yep. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things that I am, but you know, like for me, anyway, I don't want to get into it because it's gonna get all count flagged. And we start, because there's certain parts of the alphabet community all of us ain't feeling. And it is what it is. But either way, one thing that I will say is that, damn, in 2020, like, how do you how do you deny women of a voice in 2020? How do you do something like that? It just doesn't make sense to me. But
It's
either way,
called insecurity.
huh?
It's called insecurity.
Yeah,
It's called social awkwardness.
this is true too.
Insecurity, social awkwardness. It's, to me and you, it's not a big deal because we respect our sisters
Right, right,
and we respect ourselves.
right.
So it's not really that complicated. It's not really that hard.
Hmm.
And Kexia could tell you, because me and her been up at all ungodly types of the hour and night, working on the website and going back and forth. And you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yep.
and I really am proud of what we accomplished.
Me too.
I
Me
really am proud of it, man. I really am. And like I said, please, if you are in this chat room, you should be registered on the BAIO website. If you're not, I'm kind of mad at you. I'm looking at you sideways right now.
Word. Yo, so listen, let's because I'm gonna bounce. Let's bring this to the close. I want to
Okay.
talk about common words and phrases used by Fox News nationalists. Shall we?
Please do.
Okay. Number one, bedwench. That's number one. That is that's the number one, like, Fox News nationalist. And I will preclude what we're saying with this. One dude that was down with us that's not down with us anymore. Not the not the dead weight dude, but a lesser dude. I saw his activity. I guess he was talking about Gayle King. Now, none of us in here is down with Gayle King, so let's get that out of the way. But he started talking about her being a bedwench, and I was just like, when you say certain things, let me go this route with it. Me, brother, Mr. Dawud, most of y'all know I do domestic violence classes. I do 2 a week, soon to be 3. And in the class, one thing we talk about all the time is, what was your motive? What was your intent? Dundada's here.
Peace.
Peace, big brother. That's my nigga. Anyway, what's it called? I always tell people that. Like, I'm reluctant to say it, but then I say, nah, he know what it is. That's why. But anyway, what you call it? So we always talk about, what was your intent? See, when you use the terminology bedwench, really, what sense does that make? So you're using that terminology, you think you're hurting somebody. But the funny thing about it is, the person you're talking to, they don't care if you exist or not.
I'm about to blow shit way up. I hope.
We caught a dislike, bro. I guess we're doing good.
Yeah, I'm about to blow it up on that bedwin shit. Can you
Go ahead.
indulge
Yeah,
me?
yes, sir. Go ahead.
Let me ask you a question. Why do they say that they're bed wenches? Like, what's the reason for saying that? Just indulge me.
Well, essentially, what they're saying is that, you're sleeping in the bed with massa, is what they're basically saying. You're sleeping in the bed with
Oh,
massa, and you're doing things for massa's favor.
okay. Don't that sound like them though?
Yep.
Why are they making a separation? Like, they calling the black women bed wenches, but aren't you a bed wench to the white man as well?
Every day you go to work. Every day
So
you go to work.
that bed wench thing might be a slippery slope that you don't want to go down,
Yep.
because you just as much of a bed wench, if not more, than she is.
Yep. Yep.
Who are you fighting when it comes time to talking about having your own land?
Hmm.
Who are you fighting when it comes down to talking about having your own infrastructure,
Right.
having control over a society where you run a society? Who's the person that you going up against? You're going up against black men and saying that we crazy for wanting to have our own. You feel more comfortable being under the infrastructure of the white man. And let me replace that word infrastructure with the term nuts. Because that's what you comfortable being. You comfortable being up under the nuts of another man. And yet you're going to talk about somebody else being a bed wench?
Word up. You a nut
You
wench.
the biggest bed wench we got going.
Yep. You a nut wench. Word up. For real.
You
So
the, like I've said it multiple times. black men in America who are not nationalists, who don't think we should have our own, you are like the wives of white men.
Mm-hmm.
Because you consider yourself wealthy basing it on what your rich husband is making.
Oh my God. That's right. And then when you get mad, you're gonna throw your rich husband on the couch and come out to some conscious meeting.
Right. Like you
And
said, that's the best term I ever heard when you came up with that. Putting the white man on the couch, because that's exactly what it is. When you get mad, you put him on the couch, but he's still in the house, and it's
yep,
still his house.
yep, yep. So should he choose not to pay the bill, you getting evicted.
So I
Yep.
think so be careful with that bedwench shit, nigga.
Okay, so let's move
What's
to
the
the next
next term?
is either thug slash Pookie Ray Ray.
Oh yeah.
So that's a Fox News what you call it? That's a Fox News because so here's my philosophy on this. The use of thug slash Pookie slash Ray Ray slash some women call them Dusties. Okay. This particular terminology is used by dudes that are jealous of another person's sexual market value.
Thank you. Oh, you beat me to it.
It is. Because you
You
know
know
what?
what? You know what a dusty Negro is? A dusty Negro or Pookie and Ray Ray is the dude that's fucking the chick that you want to fuck.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Oops.
And
Did I
because
did
his
I did I
Timberlands
step on some toes there?
and because his Timberlands are untied, you're mad at him. So for me, because I just seen this whole long drawn out post by a brother, and I was just shaking my head like, come on, son. Listen, women like who they gonna like.
Thank
Okay.
you. And never. And
And
can I just say something before you go on?
sure, sure.
And they should never apologize for liking what they like.
Right. Right. Exactly. So here's the thing. And I've said this to some of my quote unquote nice guy friends, on many occasions. If in fact you like to read books, you like to study certain things, you like to do research, you use proper diction in certain ways or whatever, most of us could slip back and forth into what's called into slang when we want to, but maybe your default language is kind of proper or whatever, and you feel like certain women like dudes who are street or who spend some time on the street. Is that the kind of woman that you want?
Right.
Because 9 times out of 10, when you start having a conversation, can they hang out in the conversation with you? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What in fact do y'all have in common? And so I think that a lot of times, because you got this whole wave of dudes, called the manosphere, and they're all talking about the black woman. We got to leave the black woman alone because all they want is niggas, street thugs, this, that, and the next thing. And that all has been encapsulated in the terminology Pookie and Ray Ray. And it's like it's us against them. It's the nice guys against Pookie and Ray Ray. And yo, bro,
You know what I would love to see, Minister? I would love to see photos of the manosphere. Because I think if we see photos of the manosphere, we kind of figure out what's going on.
Oh yeah, yeah. Them niggas gonna look like the freaking a black version of Revenge of the Nerds, and they all gonna look like the one dude, the one big dude, Lamar, you know. Because the thing is that listen, all you gotta do is be yourself, and all you gotta do is focus on the kind of woman that likes you. But if you never even took the time out to find the kind of woman that likes you, then this is why for me, this whole Pookie and Ray Ray thing started. It started from dudes who are jealous of other dudes who have a certain swag about them, and what you call it. And so because of that, they devote all of this anger and aggression towards them because they don't want to really develop themselves.
Right. And you know what? Let's just keep it real. I spoke about this on Dinah's live stream a couple of days ago, actually. What about the concept of moving on? Do you not think there's always going to be somebody that you attracted to that ain't attracted to you because you
Right.
don't fit their particular mold? And I've had situations where I had a girl who fit my description, who was my shit, but I wasn't theirs.
Right.
I wasn't the type of dude that they was attracted to. So you know what? Kept it moving.
Yep. Yep.
Because at the end of the day, what you want to know is that person feeling you or if they not? For you to
Right.
sit around and cry because they not feeling you is stupid. Because if anything, it allowed you to move on. You don't what you don't want is somebody sitting up there pretending that they like you
Yeah.
and
Oh my
playing
God.
games with you when they ain't really feeling you. If the girl
Hmm.
is letting you know that she not feeling you, then all you do is keep the shit moving until you get with a girl that does feel you.
Right.
And everybody can get with a woman. Like I had, I wish Mac was on here, but Mac knows. We had a brother. He passed away before 2000. His brother, his name was Tyrone,
Hmm.
and Tyrone was not the most aesthetically pleasing dude,
Hmm.
but at the same time, Tyrone had more heart than most dudes I've ever met. Tyrone would step to anybody. He actually stepped to Tyra Banks. We saw Tyra Banks was in the city. He was, and he didn't look correct at all, but he had no problem stepping to her.
Right.
And his whole thing with Tyrone was playing the law of percentages. His philosophy was if I step to 10 dimes, 10
Hmm.
black women is dimes and tens. If 9 of them reject me, I'm going to have 1 dime.
Right. Right.
And he was 100%. I remember there were times when we would have house parties and he would walk in with a girl. I'm like, who the fuck is that?
Wow.
Oh, this is so and so. I'm like, oh shit, this dude would pull chicks that was way out of his league
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
he had heart.
Hmm.
So all this crap that these dudes are fucking lames. And then
Yep.
they get mad when I call them lames.
Yep.
Like, oh, it's not about lames. Yes, nigga, it's about lames. It's about you. You being a fucking lame.
Yep. Yep. There's so many ways for you to develop yourself. And there's so many different ways that if you develop yourself, like, listen, I'm not the foremost authority on women and attraction between men and women. What I do know, and my teacher taught me this a long time ago when I was in my early 20s, he said, whatever it is a woman is attracted to you for, as long as you stick to that thing, she'll stick with you.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's the key. You know what I'm saying? Because these dudes in their aggression and anger towards street dudes and calling them Pookie and Ray Ray and this whole thing, because we got to say it, fuck it, I really don't feel shy about saying it. This whole thing about Pookie Ray Ray and the gangster culture being the face of America, what kind of bullshit is that?
First of all, like I said, this is not the 90s.
Exactly.
You're dating yourself and you're showing how out of touch you are.
Exactly.
Gangster rap? What the fuck is you talking about? Like I said, when I listen to the music that's out right now, it's basically like nursery rhyme silly shit.
Yep.
Stuff for the club. It ain't about no
Yep.
niggas talking about gang banging. What the fuck? This is not the 90s.
Yep. Yep.
All you doing is showing how out of touch you. But then they always like. Did you hear Donald Trump talking about he was complaining because this South Korean movie had won Best Picture, and he's on one of his rallies. He said, "Well, can't we have Gone with the Wind?" I'm like, "What the fuck did this nigga just say?
Oh man, no, he didn't. No,
Gone with the Wind? That's some pandering ass bullshit if I ever heard it."
yo, bro, I can think of no greater torture than being strapped down to watch that fucking movie right there. Gone with the Wind. Oh my God. They used to flood. Remember back in the days to flood TV with that movie?
Yeah,
That movie used to come on like 5 times a week.
yeah,
I would freaking pluck my eyes out, man. Oh my God. Gone with the Wind too. You know, Gone with the Wind is synonymous. Little House on the Prairie.
yeah.
Oh my God. Oh man. Oh my God, yo! But the thing is, I guess the point what we're making, brothers and sisters, is when you use Pookie and Ray Ray, you have a homoerotic fixation on brothers from the streets.
Yep.
Point blank. That's what you
Yep.
have. You have a homoerotic fixation on brothers from the streets. You are jealous of them. You want to be them, and because you can't be them, you attack them with this Pookie and Ray Ray designation. And let me tell you something. My life as a person in the Black movement has been dedicated to lifting up people from that particular area. Not every, it's not all of them. Excuse me. My entire career hasn't been that, as far as my human service and Black Power career. But quite frankly, if you come to me from that area, I gotta love you and I gotta help you. If you
Well, how
assist,
about this? How about this, Minister? Here's something radical. Maybe you might learn something from them
well, that too, yeah, yeah, that too.
because a lot of them are very intelligent. A lot of them have a lot to offer. Why? Because they're human beings.
Yes, yep, yep. And here's the thing that I learned though, and this is something I'll say that it may shock y'all. Um, I put my hands up to fight a dude if I have to. You know what I'm saying? But in my lifetime, because of the sheer love that I've always had from people from the quote unquote Pookie and Ray Ray culture, the minute somebody thinks about stepping to me, somebody comes out of nowhere and says, "You bothering the brother?" It's been like that for years for me.
Hmm.
Like the minute you even think about stepping to me, there's always one or more dudes ready to put you in the ground. And for me, if you are quote unquote in a homoerotic love spell, which is the only way I could describe it, with street dudes or whatever, and you are what's called a educated lame, sometimes they call you, or sometimes they call you a nerd. Back in the days, they call you a choir boy or whatever. There's a lot of things you. For instance, my one of my best friends is a brother, who was 10 tones down in the street back in the day, and eventually came out of the streets. We work out together. He's been up north or whatever. Yo, listen, let me tell you something. How much money would you pay for a personal trainer? Probably like $200 a month or something like that. Man, I go to the gym with that dude. Every muscle on my body is hurting. Every muscle on my body is screaming because he learned how to work out. So I just show up and I'd be like, "What we doing today?" Is it today we doing this? And I do it till I can stand it. And yo, let me tell you something. Like that's not on it. Like my son is like, yo, my son is one of the smartest people you ever meet. Like he's very, very intelligent when it comes to reading people, reading people's intentions, reading people who are shady and who are on the level. Like he's one of the most intelligent people I ever met. And he doesn't read books. So
Hmm.
you're limiting yourself and really limiting the enrichment of your life when you take that position, that whole Pookie and Ray Ray position, because there's brothers and sisters that have been in the street, they have a lot to offer to you. And if the only thing you do is you see them that way, there's some bad apples, of course. But if you see them that way, to me, that's exactly what white folks want. They want you to be disconnected from all of the jewels that they may have to give you.
Right.
So,
And you're actually looking at them the same way that a white person does.
yes,
So
that's,
there goes your black nationalist card.
yep, yep, yep. And yo, I want to repeat this, that what Don said. This is beautiful. He said some of the street dudes really want to change their lives and are low key nerds. Bong. That's what
Yeah.
y'all don't get. Man, I've met street dudes that read more comics than me, know more
Hmm.
about Marvel movies than me. You know what I'm saying? Know more about anime and stuff like that. I've met street dudes who read to be very honest with you, like wizards and warlock novels and stuff like that. Like don't sleep and take the view that Fox News and Republicans give you of our brothers and sisters from the streets. Like they are more complex than you think they are. And
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, they grew up in a fucked up situation and made a couple of mistakes. 9 times out of 10.
Yep.
Hell yo. And yo, Dom is on fire. Street dudes know how to count money quicker. Yeah, they do. Yeah, not only that, they will look at the money you have in your hand, tell you how much you have.
Yep.
Without you counting it, they'd be like, "You got $300 over there." Like what? You know what I'm saying? So there's a huge value of that segment of our community, but people don't want and above and beyond all of that, when it goes down, if there ever has to be something physical, who's going to be the first person to step up?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And that's
Actually,
the
you know what?
reality.
Dev, remember you know our brother Dev, rest in
Oh yeah, I was
peace.
going through some inboxes. Yo, before you say this, I just got to say this. I'm sorry, I know I'm cutting you off. Man, I was going through your Dev would say "I love you" every 3 inboxes to me. You
Mm.
know what I'm saying? Like Dev was. Oh my God. Anyway, go ahead.
Dev was also a real protective dude. Like, and I didn't realize it until like afterwards. Some of the things that he would do to protect me.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was a situation that went down with his son, and we were gonna go down there to handle it.
Right.
And he stopped me. He said, "Nah, that's all right. I got it."
Word.
But he didn't do it in a way where I figured out what exactly he was doing. Like I actually thought that the whatever was going on was squashed.
Right.
No, he didn't want me there.
Yep. Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it's like how you when you just dismiss people based on some stereotypical bullshit, then
Mm-hmm.
you miss brothers like that.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So, bottom line is these so-called moralists are all full of shit. Because
Mm.
like I said, image is bullshit.
Yo, one more, one
Sure.
more, bro. One more. One
Mhm.
more. Bastard baby maker / single mom. That's another Fox News nationalist talking point. The whole single mom thing and how single moms destroyed the black community, how the welfare, the government used welfare to destroy the black home because you couldn't be in the home, and that myth that we've been jacking for like 40 years that was never true.
So let me guess. If the black woman steps up to the plate and becomes a man, then we can handle shit. Is that what it is? The moment she stops being a woman and just steps up to the plate and be a man, that means that let us fall back and let the black woman take care of land infrastructure nationhood.
Word.
Then everything will be fine because it's
Yeah.
her fault, right?
Word. Yo, you know what's funny? I'm gonna tell you what's funny. Like in my classes, right? Generally, I have people that are in their 40s and better, and I always ask this question. The question is always 100% true. I say, yo, so if you're in your 40s, we come from the generation where niggas could run off on their family and didn't have to come back, right? And everybody says yes. If you didn't hear me, I'm gonna say that again. I always say to people that are in my age group, which I'm gonna be 49 this year, I always say we come from the generation where niggas were able to run off on their families and not come back. And everybody says that shit is true. So when you say that the black community got destroyed by welfare, you know full well you're full of shit. You know full well, because it's a lot more complex than that. Did welfare play a part? Sure it did. I'm not saying it didn't. But what I'm saying is sisters have some accountability, brothers have some accountability. Because
Also, the black community wasn't the black community destroyed once we were brought to this fucking country? Like, what period of time are they talking about where the black
exactly,
community was all right
exactly.
in this country? We've
We
been
went from
destroyed and separated and basically made into property since we've been here.
yep.
So what period of time are you talking about where the black family was all good and everything was all right, and then all of a sudden the damn single mothers fucked everything up?
See how stupid that sounds? I mean, it's like, and you know what's funny? 90% of the dudes who are talking this stuff grew up under a single mother.
Yeah.
So was it your mom that destroyed this? Was
How
your mom?
about this? How about this? It's real simple. If you are that concerned about what your women is doing, why not create a context for your women to come up and grow up in and be
Right.
protected in? Why not
Exactly.
do that?
Exactly. Exactly.
Because I notice whenever we start to, it's like that. I keep saying it over and over again, and I'll keep saying it. It's like when somebody says, "My house is burning down," and you go, "Well, let's get some water and put it out." Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but my couch is on fire.
Hmm.
Why don't we get some water and put it out? Yeah, I know that would make sense, but yo, look at my kitchen. Everything's burning up. Motherfuckers want to keep talking about the goddamn problem and nobody wants to deal with the fucking solution.
Exactly. And that's why you're supposed to be a nationalist, is because you want to change the entire context to deal with the solution. But instead, what we want to do is share and reshare the bullshit that goes on, feeding the machine.
Right.
That's what we want to do. We want to feed the
Misery
machine.
merchant bullshit. That's all.
Yep.
Just misery. The just going about talking about shit. Like breaking down and analyzing how you got your ass kicked.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to the film, you see that right hand that he threw, and then patting your back self on the back because you was able to break down how you got your ass kicked.
Mm-hmm.
Here, let me sell you this DVD so I can show you how I got my ass kicked.
Yep. Yep.
But
And then,
never embracing the fucking solution.
hmm, hmm. But I had to put that one in there, bro, because that's, I think that above Pookie and Ray Ray and all the other stuff is like one of the number one Fox News nationalist talking points.
Right. And I guess these single black mothers fuck themselves.
Right, right.
There's immaculate conception.
No, it's called parthenogenesis. You know what I'm saying? Where remember that bullshit during the conscious community days? Niggas was trying to prove that women can have children by themselves, and oh god,
Yeah, that happens.
there was a lot of bullshit coming out during
That
those days.
happens.
Boy, I tell you, I remember the first time I heard that, I was just like, really? Like what are y'all, plants? You know? Oh my god, it didn't make no sense.
Any excuse to prevent nationhood, any
Exactly.
excuse to prevent just being responsible and handling your business. We've been asking people to join the BAIO website. Just be on the website. We're not even asking you for money. And
Mhm.
yet you can't get people to click and join a website. Yet these
Right.
same people is going to talk about going overseas internationally and setting up and building infrastructure. Really?
Or
When you can't even be registered on a website,
mm,
and then people want to ask me where to land at. You better not open up your goddamn mouth to ask me about no goddamn land if you
yeah,
can't register on a website. I'm going to trust that you're going to get a passport, get on a plane, ride for 18, 20 hours,
hmm,
go someplace, set up shop, and then go about the process of building on land, and you can't register on a website?
right. Mm.
Please.
And I just want to say this to you, brothers and sisters. You know, you will be on social media, you'll see a lot of crazy shit black people do. And for me, if I ever share something, it's just because it's so bizarre, I can't believe it myself. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, you gotta remember it's because of where we are. You gotta remember that. And you have to constantly tell yourself that. You cannot tell yourself that we're screwed. Like, there's a lot of people that say that now. You got your, I won't say a lot of people, but you got your select people. Oh man, black people, we're fucked. It's over for us. You know how many people were saying that for years? It's over for us. Like, after we see this, it's over for us. We can't do nothing no more. And we need to be reduced and all this other stuff. No, we don't. No,
No,
we
they need to be reduced.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yep. Yep. And
They
so,
need to be reduced. All these niggas is talking because you know what? The funny thing, and this is what I realized through all of the studying and all of the stuff that I've gone through over the years, and all of the different trains of thoughts and religious bullshit and all this other stuff. Our solution is so simple that it's to the point of lunacy.
yeah.
This is not some fucking difficult thing to get out of. Like, I've argued that if we did what we were supposed to do, we can have a functional black society within one generation.
Hmm.
If we really did what we supposed to do, in a perfect scenario where we did exactly what we were supposed to do, all it would take is one generation.
Hmm.
That's all it would take.
Yes, sir. Yep. Because
But
as you can see, we got enough people to do what we have enough qualified people in America as black people to do everything we need to do.
right, we need
And
more Kexias.
all of our black power leaders said that.
We
Garvey
need
said
more
it.
Kexias, and we need more Dundadas.
Yes. Yep. Yep. All of the Black Power leaders said that. They said, and that was back in the 50s, 20s, 30s, 10s. They all said we have enough qualified people to do what we're supposed to do. Honorable
Yep.
Elijah Muhammad said it. Noble Drew Ali said it. Everybody said that.
Yep.
And today, instead of uniting people, all we're talking about is how to talk about one another.
Right.
And it just gets sickening after a while. So the reality of it is that I think that when you look at what the BAIO is trying to do and what we're involved in, it's really one of the most noble causes that's out there, because it's trying to bring together enough brothers and sisters that are qualified. See, and one of the criticisms I heard at one point was we're trying to duplicate the talented 10th thing of, I want to say, was it Du Bois that was down with the talented 10th?
Yeah.
The reality of it, brothers and sisters, is if that's what you think, I don't care. If you're going to say that that's what we're trying to do, I don't care. We're not saying that if you don't have quote unquote talent, you can't be down with us. I just think that the message that we use attracts talented people. And that's what I've said this from day one. I've been consistent. That's what I'm most proud of. I'm most proud of the quality of the people that show up. You brothers and sisters in that chat room right now, none of y'all are lightweights. None of y'all are this but for you, punch the clock kind of people. You are all people striving to do something incredible in your lives and in your fields. And to me, it's like, to attract that kind of person, because listen, my name is Brother Minister Dawud. So, I've been a minister for years, and I know what it's like to preach a word for years and attract people who are well-meaning but don't have those kind of skills.
Mm-hmm.
And to see the kind of people that have come around here and sign up and say, hey, I'm a lawyer, I'm a doctor. Man, that shit isn't, do you understand how hard that is?
Yeah.
To attract those kind of people, it's, like, I don't know, like, you would have to like follow me for a year if I was to try to build a temple in your city and see how hard it is to attract qualified people like that. You know what I'm saying? That would give their time even to be on the site. And we have tons of people with various different skills that say, I'm ready to use this and I'm ready to use that. Like, that is nothing to sneeze about, man. It is really nothing to sneeze about.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and can I just touch on one more thing before we close out?
Sure. Which, me and you, we're going to keep throwing out one more thing. The next thing you know,
It's gonna be 12, 1
the
o'clock.
conversation is lit, though. So go ahead.
One of the things that and I'm going to speak for myself. I'll allow you to speak for you. But for me, what the BAIO represents to me is, and I feel like I've accomplished something because I was a part of something that was bigger than me.
Yes.
I never wanted to be a leader of the BAIO or all this, or have some type of, like, that's why I was kind of, if like when people would say, oh, you're a founder, as if that makes any, like, who gives a shit?
Right.
There was people, the concept doesn't belong to me. What we're trying to do is take the baton from the people that came before us, kind of modify it and customize it to deal with today's times, and then go on from there. I want this concept to be around when I'm long gone.
Word. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I've never looked at this as an ego thing. And now I feel like, we've accomplished something and we put something out there that can live on beyond us.
Right.
And this is why I want other voices stepping up. It can't just be about me and Dawud doing a live stream. If this is something that you believe in, you got to start stepping up.
Word.
And it doesn't mean doing a live stream. It could be in other ways. It could be, maybe you are good at organizing parties and stuff. Maybe you can put together some meet and greets or come up with a template that we can apply to all the chapters. Because most people, that's stuff that I don't really know about. I don't know about organizing events and shit. That's not my specialty.
We really should have like a national meetup, though, like sometime at the end of this year.
It would be great.
Because it's like, to me, what's beautiful is we've all had meetups in our cities. That's progress. Because years ago, we kept trying to get, when Dev was living, may Allah be pleased with him, we kept trying to have these meetups in New York. Nobody, like, people would say they was gonna come, they didn't come, or blah blah blah. And then New York had a meetup, and then they had a meetup in Atlanta. Well, Atlanta had the first meetup, and then we had a meetup in New York, and various different places. I had a meetup here in the capital region. So we've done that. So to me, I think that because man, listen, you want to talk about black women power? Shit. Like, can you imagine if we had a meetup with all the people all around the country? You know what I'm saying? Like, the sisters would go to work on just organizing. I think that would be kind of cool.
They would have to, because I damn sure wouldn't know how to do it.
Word up.
It would have to be the sisters to organize it, because I have no clue when it comes to that stuff, and I'm not ashamed to say it.
Let me just say this. Don said the BAIO had a railroad for intermodal. I'd be the first on the job. We would need you for that, but you also got style, and, and that's something that we would need you for also.
Yeah.
And I'm dead serious too. I'm dead serious. There's a lot, Don. You got a lot of skills, B. You got
a lot of swag.
We not letting you go nowhere. Word up. You are very valuable to us. You got a lot of skills. What I want to say, I guess, about being proud of BAIO is I'm proud of when I listen to the shows that the good brother, my name is my name, cuts up and what you call it and redoes. Man, I'm just proud that I became a part of this culture, submitted myself to it, and really got the gist of it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, shout out to brother Patrick. Shout out to brother Ron and Black, brother Dom, sister Kexia, sisters in the chat room, sister Monifa, all of you sisters and brothers who have become a part of this, and you took it on, and you can speak it fluently, and you can retransmit it fluently. You are the real MVPs to me, because first of all, what it speaks to is the brilliance of what we did as far as making it very simple. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that if somebody puts you on the spot, you'd have to recite this and recite that and recite, you got to memorize this and that. Land infrastructure nation is very simple. Very simple to understand, but so profound and complex when you really dig into it. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I shout out to all of y'all, because, again, and I always say this about brother Patrick, like, if you hear him talk, he sounds just like us. You know what I'm saying? He sounds just like us in talking about BAIO philosophy. And almost everybody in here that you talk to, they sound like it. You know what I'm saying? And I want your brothers and sisters to know that even though I don't comment in the chat rooms all the time, because, I'd be busy or whatever, I'm always there. I'm always looking. Y'all know when I come through with my Roger Goodell shit, be like, oh, we can't say this. But nevertheless, like, it's an organization that I really love, man. But anyway, it's 11:11. Now it's 11:12. And I'm going to go to sleep because I got freaking stuff to do in the morning. Actually, believe it or not, you brothers and sisters who listen to Dave Ramsey, I got Financial Peace University in the morning. And so, as one of the many things I do. But, bro, thank you for this particular live stream. I think we had I think we had a good show. I'm going to try to do my Black Star Craftsmanship show part 2 tomorrow night. I got a lot of material for it. I think that it's about time. And that's all I really got to say.
Yeah, my next live stream is probably going to be about this bullshit intersectionality nonsense.
What is that, though?
Let's end it, because I'll speak to you offline about it, because it's
okay.
ridiculous.
Because I have a sister on my friends list. She's an intersectional feminist.
Okay, whatever. Yo, everybody, I put the link in the chat room. Please, if you're in this chat room, please go to the BAIO site and register, like, right now. It does not take long. Click on it, register. Everybody in this chat room should be on the site. And refer it to your friends, refer it to other people that you know that's interested in land infrastructure nationhood, and let's just build up, and because it's really a site for all of us to be proud of, and I just want you to be a part of it. And on that note, I'm going to say good night to my brother.
Good night, big brother.
Good night, and we will holler at all of y'all later, okay? Peace.
Peace.